YouTubers, Aaron here. Wanted to do a short video here regarding an update on my 1960 Topps set collection. Been working on. Got a few additions here recently. Got this here, Washington Senators team card. This is the last card that I needed that was not a high number, so finally got that out of the way. And got a couple other cards here too. These are all out of the final series, 7th series, the high numbers. John Buzzhart. A pretty good deal on these cards, so I'm happy. Lastly, I got this one here. Jose Valdiviezel, or I'm sure I butchered that pretty well, but at any rate, nice looking card there as well. So I think I'm down with these here. This actually gets me down to 4 cards, but I actually have 3 more on the way, so I'm actually going to be down to 1 card here shortly remaining to actually complete this set. So pretty excited about that. Wanted to share a little bit of information here that I've known for a little while, but you know, I didn't know if the community knew about or would want to know about, but it's regarding the 1960 set, specifically the print run, the scarcity of these, or not so scarcity, however you want to look at it. It's always been difficult to tell with a lot of these vintage cards what was the print run. We know that in 1960 Topps that the 6th series and the 7th series, which are the last 2 series within the set, were progressively shorter printed. But still, how many was that? Well, I've got some information here that I was able to obtain from a blogger by the name of Bob Lemke, who, from my understanding, passed away a few years ago. But his blog's still out there, which is really cool, and it's got a ton of great information in it. He did some research in which he was able to obtain some information about the 1960 print run for Topps. He actually found an old newspaper from an issue of the Sporting News that showed a trio of kids plus Stan Musial in the background within the photo. And on that, it's an advertisement, and the advertisement said that Topps in the upcoming season, which was the 1960 set that they're referring to, would be issuing approximately 600 different cards, and that over 250 million of them will be sold in bubble gum packages. And again, this is all coming from Mr. Lemke's blog here. But we know that the top set was completed at 572 cards. And based upon that, the estimated print run would be about 437,000 approximately for each actual card. And of course, like I said, the final 2 series, it's assumed that they're scarcer. The print run was less. We say that we know this, but again, nobody knows really what the print run is. But it's assumed that these are harder to get. So really, you know, what was the print run? You know, how many were there? It's kind of tough to guess, but we know that based on the amount of cards that they were saying that they were going to be printing, 250 million. We know then that, look, there's probably about 550,000 of Series 1 through 5 of each individual player. So then, you know, really, what does that mean for the rest of them? Kind of tough, you know, tough to say. But you know, Lemke's, you know, saying that maybe around 320,000 of each of them, and he thinks that probably about only 10% of any of these cards are left around. You know, cards actually survived. You know, keep in mind, people didn't always collect these. You know, they were fun. You know, they got discarded. Things happened. So, you know, if you look at it that way, you know, he's basically saying that, you know, for Mickey Mantle cards or the Ricky or the Carl Yastrzemskis, how many are out there? Well, maybe 50 to 60,000. You know, the All-Star cards at the end of the series, which are the 7th series, you know, like the Mantle All-Star, 25 to 30,000 maybe that are left. He thinks these numbers seem pretty high, but kind of just gives a little bit of insight as to how many cards may be out there, which I think is kind of interesting. So tell me what you think. Again, Lemke thinks that these numbers are probably high. He really doesn't think that there's, you know, again, 25 to 30,000 Mickey Mantle All-Star cards still out there. But who knows? again, kind of interesting that he did find this information from an old Sporting News advertisement. Kind of gives us a little bit of insight as to how many cards may be out there. All right, guys, take care, enjoy the hobby, and talk to you soon.